Rovers return to Ewood Park this weekend to take on Rotherham United. But will they be bringing them a new manager bounce as Matty Taylor takes in charge of his first game? We're going to take a look at that and more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another match preview. Look forward to Blackburn Rovers taking on Rotherham. That's right, at Ewood Park. And we'll get to that in just one second. If you know where you've been, smash your subscribe button, bang up to all things Rovers related, Championship related, World Cup related later this year. That's right, Rovers. Hot and cold. We don't know which Rovers will show up. We're hoping, because it seems to be following a bit of a formula, a bit of a trend. Win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Hopefully, we're back to the winning ways this coming weekend. We'll take a look at all of it in a second. Of course, people shout out VRPs, they are the patrons, of course. And a big shout out to my sponsors, Blue Rose Capital, of course. Fantastic stuff back in the channel behind the bloody scenes. So anyway, let's jump in the deep end and have a little look at this one then, shall we? Of course, it's an intriguing one, isn't it? I would have preferred the new manager for Rotherham after this game, but we'll see. Of course, so here are the coaches. Of course, young Dol Thomason is the gaffer for Rovers, in case you've been living under a rock for the past couple of months. He is the gaffer. 1.66 points per game for his managerial career. I guess Matty Taylor, 40 years old. I'm older than him. 1.63 points per match, of course, and he's just been appointed on the 4th of October. Has he had enough chance to wield the axe or do whatever he needs to do? Of course, take a look at the hot players then. What we're looking at here? He doesn't play for Rotherham. All right, then, the valuable players then for both sets of teams there. Of course, Big Ben Burton Diaz, no question there, £14.4 million. Ben Willis, the most valuable player for Rotherham, around about $2.2 million, of course, in Americano, just in case you were wondering there. He is a midfielder, and of course, his contract does expire at the end of the season. Let's take a look at the values then of these two sides. Then, of course, Rovers come out at £56 million rated, or dollars even, and again, $17 million as well for Rotherham. They've got an E value of just £650,000. We have an value of 2.2 million pounds. Now, I'm thinking that is the value of their social media platforms combined. That's what I think it is. Of course, we have an average age of 24.2. They have an average age of 25.7. They have 3 national players. We have 2. We have 6 young national players. They have 3. 12 foreigners on the books for Rotherham, and we have 7. At the time of recording, of course, let's take a look at, of course, the tail of the tape, of course, as we boil it down to the bare minimum. Played 13 times 2002, 7 wins for Rovers, 2 wins for Rotherham. 4 draws, and as you can see, 50% form for Rovers. We're just steady Eddie. We just don't know what we want to be, if we want to be good or shit right now. 50% form, 1-3, lost 3 over the last 6 up against the Rotherham side. Just 1 minute 6, then 42% form. But again, new management. So if you want to look at it closer there, just 1 defeat past 5, 42% form. Coming at you though, in fact, let's go back there. The biggest win for Rovers over Rotherham, 4-0 win. The biggest win in the way, a 2-0 win. We've actually scored 22 goals compared to their 13 over the course of those 13 games. Works out around about 1.69 goals a game for Rovers compared to 1.1 goal a game for Rotherham. Let's take a look at Rovers then. Again, this is mainly for the Rotherham fans who are curious to know what's going on here. But of course, the recent events for Rovers is not great. It's just hot and cold. However, back-to-back home wins for Rovers, which is something we should be excited about. Wins over Watford and Millwall. However, we do have 2 away days now without scoring a goal. Of course, and Wigan are just around the corner, as you can see on the next graphic here. Of course, Wigan next, then Middlesbrough, back-to-back away games. And then, of course, Sunderland, the Tony Mowbray derby, coming at you the next game at Ewood Park. That's on the 18th of October. I'll let you know that the Wigan and the Sunderland games, hopefully Pete will be back in the hot seat again for this one. I have got the duty for this weekend, and as well we've got Middlesbrough coming at you next Saturday, of course. Take a look at, of course, the key players now, and they've mixed it up here, haven't they? Bloody sofa score. But anyway, these are, of course, the key players: goalkeepers, Kaminsky and Pears. And then, of course, these are our main faces at the back line there. Mola, of course, recently brought in. Pickering, Phillips, of course, new contract signed not too long ago. Ayala, Hyam, Wharton, Carter, Batty, and then Barnes. Of course, Barnes out with injury. As for our midfielders then, of course, down the bottom there, we've got Morton on loan. Will he be back in the lineup? Buckley, those two seem to be competing for the same spot. We've got Dacarino, Hedges there, Travis, Adun, JRC, Callum Britton class as a midfielder. I don't know about that. And Arthur Wharton, I think it's Anna Morton, brother. Get that change. As for the strikers, Diaz, McInday, yet to really break in, and I'm waiting for the moment. I'm waiting for the moment that he breaks in. Smodic, Tolan, Gallagher, Hurst, Walker, and Leonard. Of course, Leonard has been scoring goals in the under 23s. Let's take a look at the key players there now for Rovers heading into this. Ayala seems to be the main man. It's quite a difference between him and the next best thing. 7.28 for him. Hyam's up there in second spot. Of course, great addition he's been. Travis Adam Wharton up there, Tyler, of course, Kaminsky, Hedges, Wharton, and Dolan, and Carter at the bottom there. As for the lineup, this is what I'm going to go for you this weekend. We've got Kaminsky, Wharton, Ayala, and Hyam. Again, Wharton was on the bench the midweek. We're in that loss. Again, when he plays, we hardly ever lose. So let's get him back in the squad. Pickering, Buckley, Travis, Dack, Britton, Diaz and Edges, or something along those lines. Take a look at the goal scorers then. Diaz has got 5 goals, Don got 3, Dack's 2, Travis has got 2. As for the Yellows, Gallagher's got 4, Travis has got 4, Dack 2, JRC has 2. No red so far. Let's keep that going all year long. Let's take a look at, of course, the other stats of the figures here. Of course, goals coming at you from open play, 9 of them, 3 from set pieces, 1 counter attacks. We did have a penalty and we missed it. And hopefully we can find somebody in the locker there that can actually put the ball in the back of the net from the penalty spot. As for when we're in with possession, 39% of the time is going down the right, 37% down the left, 24% down the middle, and of course our action zones, 42% are in the middle third, 34% in our own defensive third, and just 23% going forward. That is a worrying stat. Let's get those numbers more spread out a bit, 30, 30, 30, something along those lines. Shot direction, 32% of our shots coming down the left. That's the Diaz effect. As for the shot zones, 57% of it are in the 18-yard box, as you would expect. As for our opposition, so let's take a look at Rotherham's recent run of events then heading into this match. Of course, new manager Browns, remember that, of course. So last time around they did play Millwall at home and they drew. Before that they also lost to Wigan, 2-0 loss there. With of course their last victory coming against Blackpool at the New York Stadium back on the 14th of September. Their away day form is not great, of course. Their last away match was a 0-0 draw against Middlesbrough. In fact, they've actually played 4 home games in the last 5, which is pretty incredible. Of course, take a look at their stats then. Of course, they've got to play the next 4 of the next 5 games away from home to kind of balance those books. They'll take actually tell a lie. That's 3 of the next 5 away games away from home. They've got Huddersfield next at home. That's of course next Saturday, early kick-off there. Then it's Stoke midweek. Then of course back to Rotherham against Hull, Coventry away, Cardiff away in a very, very busy October. Let's take a look at, of course, their key players in defence. We've got Victor Johansson, expected to be between the sticks. And, of course, in defence, we've got Bramall, Harding, Peltier, Richard Wood, Grant Hall, and Jamie McCarter and co. As for the midfielders, of course, it's a very slim picking squad here. When you look at it, Barcelona, of course, has been the main man. Shane Ferguson there as well. Ben Willis, Rathbone, been very, very productive. A player that we were linked with way back when, if my memory serves me correctly. And then, of course, up top, George Washington, Tom Eaves. Very slim. And then, of course, Ogbegney, wherever he is, of course, been the top goal scorer, and we'll see that in a minute. This is my lineup. Oh, well, actually, my lineup is coming at you very soon. Where is it? Let's take a look at the stats then, or whatever we've got going on. The main men, Barcelona there with a nice stat there, 7.23. Johansson up there with 7.15. Richard Wood and Obegny up there, 7. Of course, not bad. Of course, when you look at Blackburn Rovers players, only one guy is above 7, and the rest are pretty much in the 6, of course. So take from that from 1 year. But this is my lineup. We got Johansson between 6, Hall, of course, Wood, Peltier make up a back 3, and may or may not be like that. Bramall on the left-hand side, Harding on the right, Barcelona, Willis, and Rathbone in midfield. Washington and Obegny up top. He's been going and scoring the goals, as you see from this graphic. 5 goals to him. Wood's got 4 from the centre back there. Tremendous stat. Washington just the 1. Lindsay has got 1 as well. Bramall, Rathbone. Bramall's got 4 yellows. Rathbone's got 3. Peltier and Humphrey Grant have got 2 yellows. He might feature as well. We'll see about that. As for their goals, then coming from open play, 6 of them. 5 from set pieces, 1 counter attack, 1 penalty. As for the attacking sides, they prefer the right hand side to the left. And of course, their action zones, 42% of it in the middle, so 29% going forward, 29% at the back there. Shot direction, of course, pretty evens on the flanks there, 66% down your throat. And of course, the shot zone is 59% in the 18-yard box, 10% in that 6-yard area. So a lot of scrappy do play and build up by Rotherham. Of course, let's take a look at the stats then. Of course, over our home form up against their away form, back-to-back home wins for Rovers. Of course, with Rotherham without a win in the last 4 on the road. However, just 1 defeat. Pick up a lot of draws on the road, which is good. If you can draw your away games and pick up your wins at home, then a fair play to you. Of course, the recent run of events are both home and away. It's been 2 wins for Rovers, 1 with Rotherham, and 3 draws, including a draw last time around over at the New York Stadium was a 1-1 draw. However, last time I played each other at Ewood Park was a 2-1 win for Rovers over Rotherham. Harvey Elliott and Armstrong on the score sheet. Michael Smith getting the goal for Rotherham. That was, of course, the COVID year. But anyway, if you look at that, yeah, it's not pretty readings for either of the 2 sides, really. It's kind of even Stevens, really. And I think Rotherham will fancy their chances. Of course, new manager bounce. But anyway, the last 6, though, at Ewood Park, 5 wins for Rovers, just 1 draw. Of course, that 1 draw wasn't too far ago. But hopefully we can get back to winning ways against Rotherham at Ewood Park. And again, admire those stats. Dack has got a goal against them, at least 1 anyway. As has Sam Gallagher got at least a goal. Luke Hyam, is it the Hyam? No. Anyway, so look at the characteristics then for this game coming at you. The Ewood Park, the strengths for Rovers, creating chances through balls, creating chances through individual skill, protecting the lead. Weaknesses are fouling in dangerous areas, defending against counter-attacks, defending set pieces. Style of play for Rovers, possession, football, taking long shots, short passes, attempting through balls often and playing in their own half. Strengths for Rotherham though, finishing, scoring chances, defending set pieces, keeping possession of the ball and defending, their weaknesses, keeping possession of the ball, defending against long shots and aerial duels. Rotherham's style of play is attacking down the right, long balls, attempting crosses, often playing with width, consistent first 11 and playing the offside trap. Match forecast, Blackburn will dominate possession. It is, but it won't be good possession, it'll be shit possession, it'll be possession that doesn't go anywhere. It's just tedious possession. Anyway, of course, the most possession-based sides at the moment are Burnley, 62.2%, Norwich are up there, Swansea, West Brom and then Middlesbrough. As for the most aggressive, Sunderland lead the charge there with 29 yellows and 1 red. Of course, the whole chasing pack there with Borough, Sheffield United, Swansea and then Blackpool. Aerial duels, Preston lead the charge on that one, Wigan, Millwall, Middlesbrough and then Watford. Shots per game, West Brom lead the charge on that, 15 shots per game, Norwich, Sheffield United, Luton and then Sunderland. As for pass accuracy, Rovers are in these charts here, which is pretty good, but again, you got to convert that pass accuracy to chances or goals or what have you, or points would be nice. Pass accuracy, Swansea lead the charge, 84.5, Burnley, Norwich, West Brom and then Rovers, 79.2. We could maybe break into that top 3 there. We need a bit of a master stroke, but anyway, it's good to see us in those stats. If we can get more in the winning stats, that'd be great. Let's take a look at what's going on elsewhere this coming weekend. Again, QPR take a Reading tonight. Of course, Swansea against Sunderland. That's tomorrow. Blackpool against Watford. West Brom against Luton. Under pressure. Steve Bruce still in his job. Birmingham against Bristol in the Battle of the B's. Stoke against Sheffield United in the Battle of the S's. Coventry against Burnley. Millwall against Middlesbrough in the Battle of the M's. Norwich against Preston. Wigan against Cardiff. And then into Sunday, it's the Battle of the H's. Huddersfield against Hull. And of course, the game of the day, though, is at Ewood Park. Rovers taking on Rotherham in the Battle of the R's, maybe. Of course, take a look at the table then. Of course, Rovers are in 7th, a win for us today. We could actually go as high as 4th. Maybe. Yeah, could potentially go as high as 4th, depending on what goes on with QPR and Reading. As for Rotherham, they're on 30 for the win for them. They could actually leapfrog Rovers and go all the way up to as high as 6th in the table. That would be a definite new manager bounce into the playoffs indeed, as we approach the quarter of the season mark. As you can see from the graph here, of course, Rovers have had a hot and cold start to the season, but we're hanging on in there in around about 7th spot. As for Rotherham, good start for them, considering a lot of people have put them in the bottom 4-5 spots there. But of course, will Matty Taylor be the answer to save their season or continue the progress made by Paul Warren? Of course. Anyway, top goal scorer right now, Esteban did get the goal this week. As Hull City, I think they lost, didn't they? Morris up there with 6, Sargent, Willock, Wells, Stewart, Hogan, Diaz, McBurney and Ndiaye there. In a very, very tight goal scoring charts there. Thomas leads charge with the assists. There were 5 chairs up there. Clark from Sunderland, Johansson and Wyman makes up the top 4-5, of course. What about my prediction then for this game? Of course, it is a very, very interesting one, difficult one to call, because we don't know about Rovers, we don't know which one will show up, and of course we've got a new manager bounce on the cards here for Rotherham. I am actually going to go with Rovers. I've got to back them at home, 2-1 for them. I'm back in the hot seat, and of course hopefully we can get to press the button and say get in my veins a couple of times as Rovers bring home the points. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about the game. Do you think Rovers will win? Do you think Rotherham, of course, with that new manager bounce, get something out of this game? Let me know down below, and of course make sure you smash your subscribe, smash the old thumbs up and smash the little bell, and a big shout out to Blue Roaster Capital again for sponsoring this video. But until then, guys and girls, that's all I've got for you. But until then, be safe.